What's up, guys, and welcome back to the crazy life of Jake and Wife. And today we are going to dive into, is ADHD a curse or a superpower? No, but then we'll cut. Boom, 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 boom. Got it?
It's funny, we've kind of become pros on the ADHD. At least, you know what? I should say I think I have a specialized degree now in ADHD because between you and Maverick, I mean, our whole family, we're riddled, but between you and Maverick are something else.
So what's funny, so. I didn't think I really understood what ADHD was, especially growing up.
Well, it wasn't so much a label growing up. Like they what's funny is that as we've gotten older, the like diagnostics for things, the way that the processes they go to figure things out are different now. And there's broader specializations in finding out these things, right?
Well, so this is what was interesting to me. So growing up, I was always just excited about doing something, and I was into everything. I was into sports. I was into music. I played the drums. I played guitar. I played basketball. I played football. I played baseball.
Choir, musical theater.
Yeah, I learned how to pick locks. So I was lock picking everything. It was funny. One of my buddies came over one day, and he was like, "There's something that I have that I'm sure Jake has never seen before." And he was so excited because he's like, "Everything I bring to you, you've either done it, you've had it, or you understand it." And he brings one of these. It's called a vertigo pogo stick. They're like a giant, massive pogo stick. You can jump onto a house basically with it. He shows up one day and he's like, "Dude, check this out." I'm like, "Oh, that's a vertigo. That's sweet." He's like, "What the heck, man? How did you know?" And then as we got married, we started to realize
Jake has. Think of like the most off the wall hobbies, right? Like you can think of the normal ones, and then you can think of like off the wall. Okay, so most people don't get into a hobby of flying kites. Most people
I have cool kites, so I can literally almost fly with them.
Become magicians as a hobby. Most people don't have a fountain pen collection.
Wow, it is a lot.
Most people do not have a hammock collection.
Knives,
hammock
guns.
collection, yes.
Hammocks, true.
Everything that Jake does, he does it all the way. I remember you had when I met you, you were you had a unicycle.
Oh yeah, I can ride unicycles.
You can ride a unicycle. Jake has recently gotten back into guitars that he was in that in high school. So now we have. What's funny is this is the way it works. Okay, I'll tell you the cycle of events.
Really
Hang on, no. Just
see, this is ADHD right here.
So 1 second, we gotta stay on track for 1 second. Jake,
I'm just saying we're gonna get into what it actually is.
Hang on.
Eventually,
Jake has.
It's great.
He plays in a musical right now. He's in a musical called School of Rock, which is awesome, by the way.
And we're going to post a picture of Jake right here on the drums with my
blue
mohawk.
Looks awesome. Eats chicken nuggets like every single night because of it. If you know, you know. Anyway, so he has... he got into this, okay? This is what's funny. I think 6 months ago or so, our coworkers asked us, how do we anticipate Jake's next hobby? I said, you don't. Because whatever you think it's going to be, it just somehow evolves, okay? So when he started playing School of Rock, I was like, okay, so we're going to be buying a brand new drum kit. Like, this is going to be a whole thing. We're going to have a brand new drum kit. No.
How did I get into it, first of all?
Okay, first off, he was asked to audition, basically. Well, just kidding, not asked to audition. He sent in a joke audition to our buddy who owns the theater, and he got cast.
He needed a drummer.
Long story short,
he called me, asked if I could drum. I said, I know how to play the drums. And he was like, well, are you good? I'm like, I
haven't played in 15 years, but I'd probably be all right.
And then as a joke, my wife said you should put him on the cast list.
I said you should put him on the callback list for funnies.
Oh, got you.
Like just for something funny, just put him on the callback list. And then he was. And then I was like, oh no. And Jake's like,
and I'm out of town, by the way. I'm in Vegas.
He's in Vegas. He gets a call. He's like, Jake, I do need you to play the drums. And Jake's like,
I guess I could probably make that work.
All right. Now, this is a big commitment. These shows go for 6 weeks. So
long story short, I'm in the show.
Anyway, he's in the show. But... So to full circle this, he did go buy an electric drum kit because he wanted to be able to practice at home without blowing our eardrums out, which
drums
are really
loud.
kind of him.
Drums are very loud.
He did replace the heads on the drum kit that he still had from high school. So there was that, right?
Which is the one you saw in the picture because that's the one in the show.
But he did not go full out and buy a new drum set. Instead, he started watching the lead in the show playing his guitar, missed playing his guitar, and went out and bought a new guitar. And then our son, who's 10, was like, Dad, I want to play guitar too. So Jake takes him and they go get him a new guitar. Wait, I know you want to say something here. And then after that, like opportunities come in, like he's manifesting guitars in his life, right? So opportunities start coming in. Facebook Marketplace, he's on there and he sees this guitar for a deal. So he like
a
picks up a new guitar there. And then this guy comes into our store and he's looking for a mattress and he's like, man, I make these super awesome, or I refinish these super awesome guitars. Jake's like, bring one in, let me look at it.
Well, he didn't have a lot of money to spend for a mattress. He had like $200, and for the $200, you just can't buy much of a mattress.
No, they're not anymore.
He bring in a brand new Taylor GS Mini acoustic electric, which is like an $1,100 guitar. And he's like, well, I'll trade you for this. I'm like, dude, I can't trade you a $200 mattress for this, but I will trade you something nicer. But I'll take your guitar.
So now we have a wall of guitars at home.
We have like 7-8 guitars.
Yeah, well, there's ukuleles too, so that is a little guitar. But we have a wall of guitars. We have a drum kit in the corner, and our middle son has decided he's playing piano. So we've got the piano, the drum kit, and then several guitars on the wall, and we have officially got a music room. So this is how
it's been a blast.
The ADHD happens in our house. And every night, everybody comes home and plays something different. So Brooks is playing guitar on his own beat. Brooks is playing drums on his own beat. Jake's playing guitar on his own beat. Maverick's in the corner with the piano, and my house just sounds. And I'm like, well, this is just life. So
big thing with this though, when we really started to research it, because yes, like I remember one day I went to my doctor and I asked him, I said, hey, what do you think about Adderall? And he's like, for you? And I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, definitely. I'm like, what do you mean, definitely? He's like, Jake, man, the second I met you, you were like the most ADHD guy.
Jake has been self-medicating with hobbies his entire life.
Yeah, so we kind of got into it, but this is what really got us into studying what actually is it, and is it a blessing or is it a curse? To me, it's both. But this is what happens. Our middle son, our youngest son, he's very ADHD as well, which we didn't really understand. He had a hard time in school, but this is what happened. He was coming home in school in kindergarten, first grade.
He was in kindergarten, and the hard part with Maverick that I always like to start with is he has the most loving heart in the whole world. He's just the sweetest kid you'll ever meet. He has not one malicious bone in his body. He's all in everything. The difference between the way that Jake's ADHD works and the way that Maverick's ADHD works is that Jake had anxiety. He still has anxiety. And it balances the ADHD. It's actually why women don't usually get diagnosed, is because we also have depression or anxiety to balance out our ADHD and make us do the things so that we have to get done, right? So Jake had that same anxiety that to balance out his ADHD made him get things done at school, made him do his schoolwork, the anxiety was probably also his mom sitting there telling him that you have to get this done. But that was his brain. His brain was saying, okay, yes, I don't want to do it, and I am going to procrastinate it till the very last second, but I will get it done, and it will be done right. And Maverick does not have anxiety. He does not have anything other than he has ADHD, and he has
no cares in the world.
He has everybody. It's like 80% of people with ADHD have a comorbidity of something. Jake's is anxiety. Maverick's is actually tics, and so you don't notice him super. But he'll, especially on specific stimulants, he'll have like a blinking thing or something like that. But he's on something right now that doesn't really cause that.
Let's get into the stimulants and stuff though.
So he's on, so what I was gonna say is, you have to kind of figure out what your personal ADHD is, right? What do you have and what's working for you? Because it's all different on everybody's brain.
Well, we had people bring up maybe medication, and in the beginning I was way like, no.
Jake was absolutely anti because he hadn't taken any.
Yeah, especially when I was a kid. And when I see a young boy, when they say we should medicate, I'm like, he's just being a boy. He's just being a kid. But what changed that for us?
So this is what changed it. Maverick was in kindergarten. He had...
Which is what, 5 years old?
He was 5 years old. He was having a really hard time at school. Now, he had been tutored for at least a year before he went to school. Super bright, very smart. But he just doesn't learn well in a classroom. And his teacher she's brand new. I don't blame her at all. She was great. She's a great teacher.
I will.
She was a great teacher. She just didn't really know what to do with a kid with severe ADHD, and he wasn't on anything at this point.
This is what happens with his little brain, though. When he feels like he gets behind.
With anybody, I think, with ADHD, this is a major thing.
You're all or nothing. And so with him, it wasn't like, well, I can try to do better. It was just like,
And it
I'm not good. I
fully
can't do it.
translates to
I'm
the
terrible.
self-worth. That's what it does.
And we saw this happy kid.
He's going to school. He's happy. He's doing what he's supposed to. And then all of a sudden he comes home and he's like, my teacher
I'm not good. I'm terrible.
A bad kid, even though she didn't. That's what he hears. Correct. Because she's saying, Maverick, you're not doing the right thing. Maverick, this is what we're doing right now. Maverick, you're supposed to be on task. Maverick, why are you on the floor? You know, and
so all he hears is, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
I'm not good enough. I'm not a good kid. And he's internalizing this.
And finally, the school tells us that he mentioned a couple of times that he mentioned like, well, I can't do this. I'm going to kill myself. And to hear that coming from a 5 or 6 year old boy, dude, that killed me. That hurt.
And I went back and I talked to our really good friend at the time. She's still our really good friend, but she tutored him for that year before he started school. She works specifically with kids with learning disabilities, ADHD, dyslexia, those kinds of things. She's got like specializations in it all. And she told me, she's like, listen, I can remediate anything academically, but I can't fix mental health. I can't. If it gets to the point where
he feels like he's not worth anything.
Like she's like, I have been in therapy for 10 plus years to fix that in myself. Herself. And she's like, so if it comes down to it, she's like, use the medication, use the tool. So then we spent hours.
Hearing that from me, I finally went,
yeah,
maybe that's good. But
we spent hours looking into all of this. So ADHD is, I read or watched it. Did a ton of research into this.
What is ADHD? Because we all hear this, but like, what is it?
In your brain, ADHD is a dopamine deficiency. So you don't, you're seeking a constant high, basically. That's why he's able to self-medicate with hobbies, right? Because he's constantly seeking that dopamine high. And then once it's over or he's completed it, and that's the other thing, Jake is not half anything, right? So he's going to do everything
let's get into
to keep that.
Not just Jake, ADHD, because we are dopamine deficient, we seek something to bring us that happy sense and we don't realize it. Mm-hmm. It's just like an impulse of we like that hit because it doesn't run as much.
So
dopamine.
The risk with that is that
these people are usually fully addicted to
you will
things.
You will self-medicate. You will self-medicate with drugs, with alcohol, with sex, with
immorality,
all sorts of things.
Or
in fact, they say that I think there's like a almost 70% more likelihood for girls under the age of 19 to get pregnant if they are if they're not being conscious of that with the ADHD.
Same with men. There's
men
more
are
chance of
multiple partners, STDs, diseases. All of those things go up because they're just trying to seek something. And if you don't have a good base in who you are and your standards and things like that, then you're gonna seek things that just feel good.
But
right?
But this is where, to me, this is is a superpower or a curse. No matter what you do, you're going to be all in on it.
Yeah,
I always. So that's where it's like, well, it's more likely for ADHD people to be addicted to drugs or these. Or if you look at most CEOs of companies that are making more bucks than anybody else, guess what they have?
ADHD. I always tease when I'm meeting a new teacher. I say, Maverick, my middle child, has either CEO or prison gang leader energy. It's
100% the
and
truth.
It's just the path, right?
So with us, you've noticed if you've listened to any of our other podcasts, we really, really, truly do focus on Jesus, like on religion. If we can put that into that sense, then hopefully these ADHD traits can go into something that is good. Because if you're all in, like I love to read the scriptures. I love to be in that. Because I know if I'm not, I'm going to be something else. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't do these things. Because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to finish the bottle. I'm going to find the next. I'm going all the way in. So luckily for me, and it's a huge blessing for me, I've had the desire to seek the good things, not the bad things. Mm-hmm. So with our son Maverick, it's so funny because after he started having this feeling of I'm not good, we did get him on.
So we got him on a medication at the time. It was called Concerta. The only problem with that one is it really exacerbated his tics. For the first little while, it worked fine, but it really made those tics prevalent, and it made it really hard for him to just not do that. I would
see him do stuff like his eyes.
He'd be clearing his throat all the time, moving his head, moving his eyes around, blinking a lot. He had really bad dry mouth, all of that stuff. So
I'm wound up this morning, and I get these shakes. I don't know if you can see them. but there's like a very
Well,
subtle.
and the other thing is that that's all genetic too, right? So your family's very ADHD. My
whole
family's very ADHD. The tics come down directly from Jake's family. His family doesn't even realize they
boy.
have them, but they have them.
Anybody who knows the family can see my dad. He has this
we call it his blow-off valve.
He if he gets like wound up at all, you can tell if my dad's stressed, and it could be it could be excitement too. Regardless, stress is either excitement or bad. But we call it the blow-off valve. He does this. It's
Anyway,
like a pressure relief.
so Maverick has this. So we got him on that first medication, and we've had to switch, and we've had to add, and we've had to change. When we switched from the Concerta, we switched to Vyvanse, or the generic is what we use. But he
and what does that do? What does that drug do?
But the difference is, first off, the difference is you also have to watch your dosages, right? Because the dosage we jumped from Concerta to Vyvanse, we jumped to the same dosage, which you would think would be the same. But the side effects on those are, on all ADHD medications, are usually weight loss. They're an appetite suppressant. So you will often find you have to be really careful with kids. That first jump to that second medication, when we did not lower the dose, Maverick started to lose weight like crazy because he was not eating at school ever. Didn't have weight to lose. So then you have to lower the dosage to find the right place.
But let's get into the science behind the medication real quick. So medication, what it's going to do, let's say Adderall, which is something I've taken. I don't take it often because I've learned over my years to be able to control it a little bit, to see great things. I still like to procrastinate. That just is what it is. I'm not going to do something until it's due. But, for example, let's say Adderall or Concerta, these stimulants, what they're going to do is you have dopamine that's naturally released in your system here and there. You have another enzyme that comes and vacuums up the excess dopamine. So that, let's say I find a $2 bill, I'm not overly excited about a $2 bill being found. There's these another enzymes, can't remember what they're called. They vacuum up the excess dopamine. Well, with ADHD, since we're not producing the same amount as most people anyway, what these stimulants do, they actually block, or Adderall specifically.
They block the vacuum.
They block that vacuum receptor. So when you get, like I've noticed, if I take it, I'm still just normal until I do something that excites me. Mm-hmm. Then I feel great for the rest of the day because now when that dopamine is released, it's not sucked up. It stays in the system longer. It's there. And so this is what's really interesting with ADHD, because you think, well, now you're going to have this pleasure, excitement in your head. What it does is it makes you be able to focus more in the sense of now, instead of looking for the next thing to make you excited or not feel,
you can stay concentrated on the
bad,
thing that you're working on.
You don't even notice it. But when you're happy and you feel good, you have more desire to get the things done. When you're slightly depressed or slightly down or slightly tired or exhausted or just anything that comes with a dopamine deficiency, you look for the next thing to make you excited again. So these stimulants, what they'll do is they'll give you the opportunity to say, I can focus now. And what's crazy, this is a healthy drink. But let's say a Red Bull, something else with a stimulant in it. Most people are like, I can't drink that after 3 or I'm going to stay up all night. Most ADHD people, you can drink one and be like, I'm going to go to bed now, because what it's going to do is now going to focus the mind. And instead of having the mind race, which I've done and then can't sleep, it kind of focuses the mind to a slow, which actually almost turns you off. You can actually go to sleep. It's crazy. Now let's jump back to Maverick though.
Well, and then I thought I had another train of thought there, but maybe I've lost it. It'll come back.
Can I jump to Maverick here? So Maverick, when we finally got him on this, now again, I see my son who's talking bad about himself. That's hard. That is super hard to watch, especially at that age. That's crazy. So we actually transferred schools for this lady who tutored him.
Yeah, the lady that tutored him, she was teaching at for first grade, we transferred him schools to go be taught by her.
So way different zone. It was a lot more time out of our day to go take him there. But she knew how to understand and focus and make learning exciting.
And he had the medication at that point,
hand
in hand. So,
which you still have to make it exciting though. Mm-hmm. Now this is what happened to Maverick. From Maverick's test scores from here, Maverick jumped up to like the top 3 in his class. Yeah. And that kid is crazy smart. So here's the thing with ADHD. When you get it, you get it. Like you don't have to keep relearning it. Once you've learned it, like it's there.
Maverick reads phenomenally. His handwriting's better than his brother, who's 2 years older than him. He loves math. Actually, both of the boys love math, which is kind of wild.
He reads at a great level.
Like they are,
his math's fantastic.
He's very smart. He's very smart. He's very concentrated. He's recently rediscovered Legos.
I don't
There's
think you
his
ever grow
hyperfixation.
out of Legos. So we bought him this Lego set. It's an R2D2. Well, he bought it, I should say.
Yeah, he
actually.
bought
This
it.
is
It was 1,050 pieces. He really wanted to buy a Lego set with over 1,000 pieces in it. That was all he was looking for. He didn't care what it was. It was over 1,000 pieces. Found one that had 1,050 pieces.
Started at what, 3 o'clock?
3:30 in the afternoon, and it was Friday afternoon.
I had just had a show.
You just had a show.
The boys are playing?
No, you guys had dress rehearsal, so
That's
you
right,
didn't
that's
come
right.
home till like midnight because of how late you guys worked.
So I came home at midnight. Maverick's sitting there building this R2D2, and I'm like, well, buddy, what's going on? He's like, I've been working on this
I did
all
give
day.
him permission.
No,
to be
it's
on
great.
it.
I was like, well, how long is all day? He's like, I think like 7 hours. And I'm like, all right. And then he looks at me, he's like, well, I only have a couple bags left. Can I finish it? I'm like, tomorrow's Saturday, bud. You can finish it. So I'm home. I'm up still, waiting for Maverick. He finally comes upstairs. He's got his R2D2 put together. He's like, I better go to bed because if I don't, I'm sure eventually it's going to be like 1 o'clock. I'm like, buddy, it's 1:30. And he's like, is it really? Yeah. This is how I've noticed too. This is me growing up. If I buy a model car, I have refused to buy them because if I buy them, it will not be a 2-day, 3-day, 4-day project. It will be a start to finish project. And I don't care what that takes. And that's another thing with ADHD. It's very hard for us to put something
Fish
down.
tanks in the beginning of our marriage was like the bane of my existence.
had
because
saltwater
Jake would go
tanks.
sit down for 6 hours.
If you
and
think of a
stare at his
hobby,
fish tank.
If you think of a hobby, I've probably been in it. But here's the thing though. It's a start to finish job. And so it's not a that's why we procrastinate so hard. Because it's like, well, I'm not going to do it because if I start it, I'm going to finish it. Whereas most people, I think, can pick up something, but well, I'll do a little today, a little tomorrow. I might finish this in a week. I can't do that.
Jake went and let Maverick pick out a different Lego set, a 2600 piece. He got the Harry Potter castle, so the Hogwarts. So we are not letting him do that one.
But I can see how his brain works. This is so good. This is what I love, and it's still start to finish if you think of it in this manner.
He has to finish a bag.
There's 24 bags, and you have one bag per like section, and in the instructions, you open bag 1, you finish bag 1, you open bag 2, you finish bag 2. So to like on these nights, he is a start to finish guy. Dad, can I do 1 bag? Can I do 2 bags? That kid will not stop until that bag section is done.
Yeah.
If he opens it, it will not be a half bag. And that's still, if you look at the way our brains work, it is a start to finish project.
So one thing I wanted to bring up from all the research
it looks
that I was
fantastic,
doing,
by the way. We got like 10 bags left.
The from all the research that I did in that first like while of kindergarten there, something that I really want to bring up for people, because I know that especially as a mom or dad, you struggle with the idea of putting your kids on medication. That can be a really big jump, and it's really hard. And you get a little bit guilted about it. Like people can make you feel kind of crappy for putting your child on medication. They really can. And I think the important thing to remember is this, and it's the one thing that really switched it over in my mind. If your child broke their leg and they were they broke it at school, right? And now what are you going to do? Are you going to go take them and get it set and get it taken care of, or have surgery, or do whatever it takes to fix the broken leg, right? Because you don't want it to just heal wrong and then walk around with a limp for the rest of their life, right? The brain is not functioning at its proper. That's
why we call it ADHD, which is disorder on the end.
Yes, it is not properly functioning the way that neurotypical people function. And so you think about that. If you're refusing because you're afraid that people will judge you, or because you really just don't want to put that in their body or whatever. And this is not to guilt you the other way either. If you just choose not to go that direction, or if it's not severe enough for that, I understand. But if you're just afraid of it for that reason, I want you to think of it as something that heals that broken leg. It heals that broken part in their brain, because
so then they won't have that limp.
Then they're not walking with a limp. You're also not exposing them to other potential problems that come from this that we spoke of earlier. Your addictions, your all of those things.
During the summer, no school. Was Maverick on his medication?
We don't put Maverick on his medication during the summer. That's partially because I don't want his body to build up the tolerance too fast and have to go up too high on dosages, but also because he's with me or he's at daycare and I know how to handle him, and he's not stuck in a situation for 6 hours of school where he needs to focus and be constantly on.
This was the biggest thing too. We took a kid who was falling behind in class that will take now years to overcome, and you will always be behind. to now a kid who sits at the top of his class in all of his abilities, because when he's there, again, when I don't know what it is, the guy behind the camera, ADHD too, he understands. When you learn it and you have it near indefinitely. Yes, you might get rusty on things, but that's the superpower
and
portion.
here's the other part I think too is think about this too. How easy is it to learn a language when you're a teenager, an adult? How easy is that?
A lot easier younger than it is older.
They do immersion programs and everything else when your kids are young, right? They're learning English when they're young. They're learning to read when they're 5 years old. If you're putting off the medication because they're young, now you are still putting them behind, right? Because if you learn all of the basics and that stuff when you're 5 years old or 6 years old, and then you decide to wait until they're 12 and they can't read, and now they still have to figure it out.
Which we have some family members in
Yes.
this boat, because symptoms were really never treated, so they have fallen so far behind that it's kind of sad to watch sometimes. And then you do self-medicate.
Yes.
You get into things that you shouldn't be in
Mhm.
because it brings that joy. I hope if anybody can see this, if you can get them to like good things and make the good things exciting, like 4 years ago when I met Richard,
Mhm.
well, I was like, I've never not been faith-based, but I mean, I was wholly into, man, I need to study the scriptures, I need to know Jesus. And when I'm in it, I was all in it. And because I've learned that, it's built my testimony so much stronger and made me a better person. I don't think I've taken Adderall for months and months, probably a year.
That's why we have guitars.
But it's true. That's why I have guitars. Frankly, this is the blessing
No,
and
it's
curse.
good. It's good.
When I'm in it, I'm in it. I've done it so sometimes too bad. Like if you look at my gun collection, I can outfit
little
at
ridiculous.
least 5 neighborhoods with every person at least something. That's honestly, that's not good. That's a harm. I've spent more money than I probably should. Guitars, luckily I've got crazy deals, but nonetheless, it's overboard than what I need. But my business, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And we are doing fantastic with business for some reason. I 100% believe those are blessings as well. But at the same time, we have to put effort in to do it. We'll wrap this up a little bit,
Yeah.
And finish. But the big thing we want to talk about with is ADHD. Is it a curse? Sometimes. But it's only a curse if you allow it to be.
It can be a
only
curse.
if you allow it to be.
But I think it's more of a superpower as long as you're using it correctly.
I think what I was trying to hope to see is recognize the deficiency people have. Recognize the weakness that people have, regardless what it is. Take that weakness and find the benefit of it and then focus on the good. Don't focus on the bad. If you focus on the bad, that's what will consume it. But take a disability, take a disorder, take something that you're weak in, find the good in it, focus on that aspect of the good, and I promise you that will then make that an absolute superpower. No matter where you are at in life, if you're like, well, I can't do this. I had one of my family members come in all the time, and they always bring up, well, I can't do that because I can't afford it. I can't afford it. They're kids that are 6, 8, 12, 15 years old. The first thing I hear from their mouth, can't afford it. They came to my store the other day and right off the bat said that. And I said, stop saying that. I said, the second you say I can't afford it, I said, you're right. You will never be able to afford it because you've just admitted that. And that's what you're going to think of. I said, no longer.
It's your mindset. You place yourself there, right?
But I said,
You've
I
capped
never
yourself.
want to ever hear you say that again. I said, you walk in here, no matter what it is, if it's like, I want that, I'm going to figure out a way to do it. And I'm going to set this aside. I said, make goals, make plans, and then do it. Don't ever say don't.
Maverick
and you know
the
what was
other
awesome?
day.
Real quick to finish it. This family member went, you're so right. And because here's the thing, they also always see Jake. Jake gets what he wants. Nobody ever sees, by the way, in my life, my struggle. The only one sees it is her, because I will not show that struggle outwardly to anybody. And so whenever he says something like, Jake, you're so good at this, you're good at the drums, you're good at the guitar, you're good at lockpicking, you're literally good at everything you do.
He does it until he's good at it.
Nobody sees the hours and hours and hours and hours that I put into it on my personal struggle until I'm good. Then I will show it, and then everybody.
He's also blessed to be married to somebody who will take care of the things while
Thank
he
goodness.
spends
Thank goodness.
6 hours
In fact, though, some of the let's say some of the hard things with my wife. Thank goodness, ADHD people, we're going to struggle with things. We're going to do some things we probably shouldn't do sometimes. I luckily can confide in my wife and talk to her about things that I struggle with, and she is so sympathetic and understanding. Like, frankly, look at her. She's a beautiful person.
Thanks.
I want her to be perfect. That's what's hard with this. She did a bodybuilding competition. I wanted her to be perfect. She comes off of it. She starts eating unhealthy. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Sometimes that's not good. And I recognize that's not good for, but I recognize that's not good for me. And luckily, like, I have the most incredible wife to be able to see that. Anyway, take the good things of the disorders or the weaknesses in your life. And I promise you, weak things can become strong, especially if you rely on the help from the Lord. It will happen, but only focus on the good. If we can change the world to stop focusing on the negative, even if the negative is 90% and the 10% is what's good, take that 10% and make it bless your life.
I think that it's so important to remember that gratitude is your attitude, right?
Gratitude is everything.
That is 100% it. You're the way that you see things and the focus that you put on things is 100% how you will go through life and how you'll move through your life. So
if you've been watching this entire podcast, you can see the ADHD definitely riddled it as well. It was here and there and everywhere. But at the end of the day, that's why we call this channel
The Crazy Life.